Hey, kids, it's time for another exciting episode of KWJUDAS.
Speaking with your eyes, as I said a million things, and none of them is why. I can still see you even up until this very day, playing back the memories of how you left this way. Just breathe. Fighting with your mind. Are your dreams filled with sickness from a life left behind? And a million miles from nowhere, yet so close to home. When we are together, I sense you're still alone. Just breathe. Sense of purpose, it would be with you. If there was some greater meaning, it would be with you. Just breathe.
Nick and Aria here on KWJUDAS on Gumption City Radio. That's right. It's the new and improved Gumption City Radio. We don't do that old FRP shit anymore. And it's about time we had these guys on our show, wouldn't you say? I mean, shit.
We're just excited to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
This is Nick Passy. I've known this guy for quite some time.
Forever.
Clear back in the Steamers days, back in the Die Panda Die days, the My Anathema days.
The early aughts.
What was that, like 2001? 4? 2001,
1
no?
to 2004.
Well,
yeah, about
to speak to that, the PA you're using has an Iheart Nick Passy sticker on it.
It does. Actually, yes.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first things he said when he stepped into this room. Is that the fucking soundboard?
Is that the same board? Yeah.
He sold this to me. That would have been 2007 or 8.
Yeah.
Maybe 2009.
Yeah.
And
it's still going.
Way back, folks.
I've been reading the instruction manual, and it's in Middle English.
And we still have it. That's the funny thing. And we still use it. It's a scroll, actually.
Yeah.
And what's funny is we were saying this earlier. It's not like I haven't gotten other fucking mixers since then. you know? I've had at least like 4 or 5 mixers, and for whatever reason, we keep coming back to this one. The newest one, well, that's the cord in the corner right there, and it's a really weird fucking kind of cord, and it broke.
Yeah.
And a new one's like...
Too much. Too much.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck is that cable?
Pass it to me.
It's like like a cobra snake. I don't know.
Let's see this.
It's gonna spit at you. Ah! I bet Nick knows. He knows about cables.
Let's see. That is weird. Yeah.
Yeah, see what I mean?
Okay, so it's got like a 4-pin power supply,
Right.
which is really strange to see on anything.
Yeah, who
power
the-
supply.
The fuck makes one of
It's
those, and who the
bizarre.
fuck's gonna buy another one?
It almost looks like an XLR cable, but it's like a locking like connector, and there's 4 pins on it.
Right. I've never seen one like before or
Yeah.
after. And
Strange.
if Nick doesn't know what it is, nobody does.
No, it's like the kind of cable that you would see on it's the kind of cable that you'd see on like a Jazzy scooter or a Rascal.
What?
Or like an
you
electric
sure?
scooter.
Yeah, their
The
chargers
fuck?
look like that.
or something like that. It's not your typical. It's not just that standard like barrel connector that's on everything.
Okay, well, now you see why we're still using your
Yeah.
fucking mixer is that shit.
Replaceability.
And I don't know what the hell happened to it, to be honest. I
Yeah.
mean, it's in my room. Things get broken. Let's face it.
Happens.
I mean, I don't think there's anything in this room that actually works right or doesn't have something wrong with it.
Well, I mean the podcast.
I
is
mean,
working
except
right.
you guys.
The podcast is working right now. So.
Well, to our knowledge. Now, this podcast has always been broken, as has the radio station. We finally fixed it, though.
Good.
That's good.
And we have nowhere to go but up from here, as I say, with the new Gumption City Radio. I'm going to write a new theme song, I think.
Yeah.
Or, you know what we should do? Is have a competition
Uh-huh.
of all our guests who can write the coolest theme song.
That'd be kind of neat.
Dude.
How would you pick though?
I don't know.
Like,
Fuck.
picking would be
Then you've got to
Impossible.
disappoint some people.
Right. You know, we have to use all of them.
yeah. On top
You know?
of each other. Just
All of them simultaneously.
Yeah, at the
all
same
at
time.
once.
noise.
Or, yeah, just in this big, like, around. You know what I mean?
Oh, there
kind
you
of in
go.
this weird
No,
loop.
Cycle
we'll
through
find a
them.
way to speed up or slow down and make some.
Put them all in the same key. Put them all at the same BPMs. Yeah, I think it might work.
Well,
Yeah.
mix them with that.
And that's how we're
And
going
then
to
send
get
it all to a DJ to just
Oh, I know a DJ, too.
Cut
He
'em all
could
up.
totally just mash all that shit up.
turn it into EDM.
Oh no!
Except for I don't know if I want an EDM theme song. But it would be an EDM mashup of all the different genres that we have
Yes.
on this show through this whole season. And that would be the theme song for Season 9.
Ah.
Huh.
It's an idea.
I guess we're just kind of like brainstorming right now, thinking out loud. Everything is just so fucking up in the air right now. For being a show that's been around for 8 years, we sure don't know what the fuck is going on, and we're still figuring it out. That's why we're like pre-recording all this shit so far in advance. It's a good thing that we have been.
Yeah.
Like, this show probably isn't even going to come out for another month. So, like, one of us could be dead, or like the apocalypse could have happened, or I don't know, like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in the future, we'll be like looking back at this and say, "Man, if only we would have known then what we know now."
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about doing it the way that we've been doing it.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned in several episodes, this show is the closest thing to time travel you're gonna get. At least this day and age, folks.
Nice.
Really? If you listen to this after I'm dead, I am talking to you right now from the dead. And I'd like to let you know it's not so bad.
It's like a warm bath.
Yeah.
Relax.
Let's have another song, shall we?
Sure.
On that note, you guys have any songs that kind of good segue into, about dying in a warm bath?
Yeah.
Or dying
this
feeling
next
like a
one-
warm bath.
This next
next
one's
one.
perfect
Oh,
for it.
what's the name of this next tune?
Laughing.
Laughing?
It's the title track of our new record.
Indeed. So that last song and this next song, this is some previously unreleased shit, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the record will be available in about 6 to 9 months once we get it pressed on vinyl and everybody that did the pre-order gets a chance to listen to it before it goes on streaming.
Yeah, we're actually crowdfunding for it right now, but I'm just going to assume that by the time that this comes out that we've hit our goal, so thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Let's have a
really
big
great.
hand to all of our contributors. Thank you all for making this happen.
That's awesome.
Every one of you out there deserves this applause more than, well, the band themselves. We want you to give yourselves a warm hug.
We couldn't have done it without Steve and Jennifer and Bill.
Bill,
Matt.
yes.
Matt, Matt, you came in at the last second and just pushed it over the top, you know.
If
So
it wasn't
thank
for
you.
that last donation from Matt, holy
Yeah.
fuck. I mean, we'd have been screwed.
Yeah.
True.
Anyways, you get a commemorative mug, Matt.
Yep.
Thank you.
Look for it in the mail.
This next song by Aria and Nick and Aria. What was the name of the album?
Laughing. This is the title.
Oh, this is the title track from the new album. Previously unreleased stuff, kids. And once this is released, rather than 6 to 9 months, it'll be 5 to 8 months.
Yeah, that's true. Right around the corner.
KWJUDAS, Gumption City Radio.
Laughing at things we should not. Sometimes you gotta let it all out. Crying about things we should not. Sometimes you gotta let it all out. Oh, my mailbox never locked, so it didn't work when the lock fell off. And the mailman, always talking to himself, wasn't all that good at his job. And he keeps me from getting the letters, so sometimes I get put on, laughing at things we should not. Sometimes you gotta let it all out. Crying about things we should not. Sometimes you gotta let it all out. When you send me that song about splitting up a record collection, that got me thinking back in the wrong direction. Those past days, like a breeze in the wind, you are gone again, gone again. Laughing at things we should not. Sometimes you gotta let it all out. Crying about things we should not. Sometimes you gotta let it all out. Laughing at things we should not. Sometimes you gotta let it all out. Crying about things we should not. Sometimes you gotta let it all out. takes time to heal. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it gets much worse before it gets better. No two people are the same. And that might be why it hurts its way. You're my favorite anesthetic. You're my favorite anesthetic. Tell me what ails your soul. What's all your troubled mind? How can we see it here? Passing through with all your money and your time. Where do you hurt more when the day is done? Where would you like to go? Where do you come from? I'm so tired and tested. Hold me down into the ground, or maybe further. So much better than the rest. I wish I gave it all another breath. Gave you everything, then you asked for more. Now I'm laying here, holding the pieces along the floor.
actually sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, I like
Was
that
that
one.
off of the... Okay, so we actually took this and re-recorded it. It's off of the previous album.
Yeah, it is off of Nick's previous release before I joined the band, called If I'm Saying It Right.
So we're actually going to play like a short clip of that
Yeah, so this is
as a
like
comparison.
we've kind of played 3 songs from the new album.
Yep.
From the new album, Laughing. Yeah.
And we're going to show you guys basically what that song we just heard used to sound like.
Yeah.
Who did you have on cello?
Caitlin Finley.
So did they just guest on this recording, or were they actually part of the band?
They were part of the band, and they're now doing their own thing. And both Aria's group and my group kind of had like a pause, and we decided, hey, let's work these songs out with the 2 of us.
Word.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear the old snippet of that song. What's the name of this tune?
Anesthetic.
Anesthetic. And what were you going by at that time?
Just Nick Passy and the Perpetual Sadness.
And the Perpetual Sadness.
But it can be found Nick Passy on all of the streaming things.
All right, let's hear it.
It takes time to heal. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it gets much worse before it gets better. No 2 people are the same.
Well, golly, that sure was purty, Arliss. I like 'em both. What you think, Wizard? Which one's your favorite?
I like the first one.
I like the
I like
purty
them both,
one.
though. They're both pretty good.
I think the purty one was the best. You played the mandolin on the first version that we heard, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the new record that's coming out is more of a like a live production. We're trying to sound more like we do when we go to perform, where the old album, fantastic work, but it's more studio work, right? It's more big production. You didn't always get exactly the same thing when live performance happened because maybe not all the members were there or that sort of thing. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So when you say like the more of a studio thing, you mean you brought in a bunch of more people that aren't exactly...
There were just a lot more sounds used.
Yeah. It was the concept back then was, hey, I'm gonna write this song. I'm gonna go into a studio. I'm gonna work with this producer I love, and we're gonna do whatever we have to get the song to its point where we feel good about releasing it. And that means adding some keyboard player stuff, if that means adding a drummer, if that means adding some bass guitar, if that means adding 6 layers of electric guitar, we'll do it.
Right.
It was just about maybe getting the song to be its at its best point, and now we're focused more on let's record what we do live.
For sure.
And so that when we kind of worked backwards.
Yeah, I would say kind of. But I could see your decision why you would do that.
Yeah, I mean, we want something that when somebody walks up to the merch booth and they say, like, are you on this one? Are you on this one? To Aria, we can point at the one that, this is what sounds the most like we do live.
Right.
And what we'll do with the next album, who knows?
Well, there's kind of, I think, a benefit to both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For, like, the musician especially. But there's 2 sides to, like, any album is the musician side and the audience side.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what you want to cater to the most You know, I feel like the studio album is a little more indulgent on the musician's side and can be for the audience. But for the audience, when they hear that and they've never seen you live and then they come and see it, they're not getting what they expect.
Yeah, they
and
want to
sometimes can be a little bit disappointed.
They want to take that record back home with them and validate that experience further.
But at the same time, having a record like that already out, let's just say if you got big in the future and have the money to like fund a full band and just pay people to play live with you, then you've already got the foundation. You know, the groundwork's already kind of laid out for something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like what I would love to do is just put together something like that. You know, full-on orchestra with the hopes that maybe one day you can actually afford to have an orchestra play it live with you. But until then, of course, you're going to be playing the more watered-down versions.
Yeah, like just lock me in that studio. The guy from the Beach Boys was like stuck in for 20 years, and I'll hire his old agent.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just be adding layers upon layers.
Need
and
6 more marimba players.
Mumbling to myself, walking around in a bathrobe until...
You're going to get an awesome finished product.
Well, I mean, the gold...
at the price of your sanity.
That joke
Sometimes
aside,
that's what it costs.
You know, one of my favorite bands right now is Manchester Orchestra.
Word.
And when they record an album, they find their engineer, and then they go rent a spot, and sometimes they spend 9 months straight living in a house or some facility, and they actually just all day, every day, they just work on the album with that producer until they're happy with it. And so that's like the vision of like, if you've got $300,000 budget, that's
if you can afford it.
That's what, you know, we're ready. We're just waiting for...
Well, and, you know, everybody's got a different idea. Money. But my thought is if we had, you know, no holds bar on money and stuff, I don't think it would have more instruments. I think it would have really, really more delicate attention to every specific detail. You know, and it would be like that Manchester Orchestra record where they are just like scrutinizing every single thing and recording it the exact way they want to.
Yeah.
But
that would be fun.
Yeah.
But, you know, right now where we're at, it's just about recording as often as we possibly can.
Yeah.
You know?
You do a lot of your own recording, don't you? Or do you...
We constantly record ourselves, but we actually do go to a studio for each release.
Mm-hmm.
Word. Is there anyone specifically you go to? Any, like, props you want to throw out?
This last record we did with Nate Brown at Rocket Skates Recording Studio.
Word.
And it's really nice to have his input and his touch to the record.
Yeah.
And
previous 2 albums I worked with Steve Phillips, and he's based out of kind of the Murray, Salt Lake Valley area.
Indeed. On that note, that's for your previous stuff.
Yeah, that's for the previous ones.
So why don't we play some of the previous stuff
let's do.
that we are talking about?
Yeah, we're kind of Quentin Tarantinoing the show. We're starting with the new. And we're going to the beginning.
That's kind of how you did it with your albums, putting out the studio album first and then the more stripped down. So,
But before you play the next tune, we are exactly at the middle of the show right now. I just had to let you all know.
Actually, I had a feeling something was about to come, and I was going to say...
the middle of the show, folks.
Do you have a useless fact?
I, in fact, have a Wizard's useless fact for you.
All right, guys. This is the Wizard's useless fact.
The most common name in the world is Mohammed.
What?
I feel like that's somewhat useful because if you don't know someone, you've forgotten their name. If you say Muhammad, you have a large chance.
You get called racist.
You have a large chance. Well,
why'd you put Mohammed? Why'd you put Mohammed on your ID? What's the most common name?
I just figured.
Does anybody remember
there
that
was a good chance
from oh my goodness, from Superbad?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Somebody's already played off of that one, huh?
Remember that?
Well, goddamn it!
Where he gets the fake ID and McLovin.
So when they say that you're not allowed to show a picture of Mohammed, that's an awful lot of people that covers. We could keep going with that one, but you know, we don't want to kick that dead horse or dead cow. Next song. What's the name of this next song?
It is...
You're just going to leave me hanging.
We didn't know. We couldn't remember.
You got to love these kind of awkward moments. You know what? Let's just not even have a fucking song. We're just going to sit here for a minute.
What is the next song?
Oh, God, this is driving me nuts. Play a fucking song!
Black coffee and cigarette, left in notebook pages full of regret at your house last fall about this time. The simple things, they tend to sting. Over and over they're resonating where my mind resides these days. My mind resides these days. Say what you mean to say. Mean what you say. Say what you mean to say. What you say. With the casket full of thoughts, fights and battles that I have lost, and I think back again. Haven't made a sound, but I'm already crossed. Nights and mornings I turn and toss. Only fear breeds this type of dream. Only fear breeds this type of dream. Say what you mean to say. Mean what you say. Say what you mean to say. Mean what you say. Say what you mean to say. Mean what you say. Say what you mean to say. Mean what you say.
Sorry, I kind of freaked out there, guys. I can't handle that much silence on this fucking show.
It's, you don't want the dead air.
I was actually gonna let it sit for a second just to, be ironic, but whatever. You killed it. Yeah, that time I wanted it, and you killed it.
We heard what you asked for, and we gave it to you.
All right, so being at the middle of the show, we figured we would play a song from the middle of the career
Yeah.
And that was off your second album?
Yeah, that was Black Coffee and Cigarettes.
Was that the
Off
name of the album?
second album. That was the name of the song. The album is called If I'm Saying It Right.
Oh, that's the name of the fucking album.
Yeah.
This whole fucking time, I just thought you guys didn't know how to pronounce the names of your own goddamn songs. It's like fuck.
If I'm saying it right.
Did you
Yeah.
guys, or of course you did
That
that
is
on purpose.
the joke, yeah. Well,
You
the joke was
bastards.
that the album in its front to back was going to be, either Nick Passy, if I'm saying it right, or if I'm saying it right, Nick Passy, because people always fuck up my last name. They're always like, is it Passé?
I've never heard anyone say Passé, but then everyone I know knows you.
I think it's because we live in the Salt Lake Valley now.
Passé.
Mm-hmm.
That is so passé. Lame.
If it were passe in Utah, it would be spelled with an E-I-G-H.
Passalé.
Well, I'm just
Passé.
glad that we finally rectified that because really, like, there were several times while we were picking the songs that I was like, do you guys not know how to
Yep.
What
pronounce
do you
your...
mean if you're saying it right?
You kept saying names of songs, if I'm saying that right. Clever.
They got you. On that
So I
one.
believe. Okay,
You
so
actually,
we're,
yeah, you got me on that.
so
one.
as we're working from in backwards motion here, a
Indeed.
reminder. So now we're actually going to go into the next song, which is "Building Up My Tolerance to You," and it's about falling out of love and falling into drugs and alcohol. And so
Seems
it's kind
adequate.
it's a love song to substances. addiction.
One of those. All right. And this is still off of. Am I?
And now this
saying
is
it right?
off of the first album, working through some shit.
So how many albums do we got? 3?
3 total.
KW Judas, Nick and Aria, Gumption City Radio.
I'm building up my tolerance to you. With every sip, you're my drug of choice, baby. You're my fix, but I'm building up my tolerance to you. I need more of you each passing day, but I'm not having any other way. Now you're the reason that I'm always tweaking, but I'm building up my tolerance to you. I wanna slam you in my veins and sew you up until I go insane. And your love has got me all drunk, sick, and I can't seem to kick it, but I'm building up my tolerance to you. I wanna put you on my tongue, play another record and get spun. I'm popping you like pills and skipping on the bills, but I'm building up my tolerance to you. I'll take another hit of you, counting down the hours till the day is through. My head is pounding and my pulse is bounding, but I'm building up a tolerance to you. I'm building up a tolerance to you.
Nick and Aria here on KWJUDAS, and while we have been listening to these delectable tunes, we have also been scheming up a new mascot for Gumption City. We are officially the Gumption City Crabs!
Go Crabs!
Woo! Crabs! Gumption City Crabs!
Get pinched.
Get pinched. Got Scabby the Crab as our fucking mascot. Yeah, I love it. I love it. We're going to have some a contest where, again, either you make a theme song or you draw the crab. One of the two. What do you win? 15,000 peanut shells, folks. We're gonna plug in a big audience cheering right there. Yeah.
Good.
15,000 peanut shells. And it's gonna happen again. I'm gonna say it again just for the fuck of it. 15,000 peanut shells. And now, it's story time. Oh, really?
All right.
Nick has a story for us.
I do have a story, but I'm wondering.
We all know how much we love a good story here
what
on
would you guys like to
KWJUDAS.
hear about?
Do you have a scary story?
A scary story.
Do you have anything about, like, I don't know, superstitious nonsense?
Ooh, superstitious.
Superstitious nonsense. I mean, it's not a Halloween episode, so it doesn't have to be.
Okay, wait. It is late
spooky
July,
shit, but
which
we're all
means
about
it is technically Halloween season.
Halloween's midpoint.
Halloween season.
Halloween season.
It
this
has
is when
started.
Halloween starts.
Well, and
for
I mean-
this is coming out around then.
We're not going to be coming out that late. I mean,
I know.
fuck. But if you take a look around this room, it's all decorated in Halloween shit.
feels like
It's Halloween
Halloween
here
here.
all the fucking time.
That's fair.
Yeah. The whole house. In fact, I don't know how to decorate when Halloween comes around. I'm like, I already got everything up, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So, it doesn't have to be a spooky story. It could be a funny story or a sad story.
Ooh, a sad
Or,
story.
you know, we're all about just a good story. A good drama, a mystery, sci-fi, fantasy.
What about any stories from the Netherlands?
What about something just really, really disgusting and fucked up?
Story about the time the scaredest you ever been.
The first time you peed your... No, the last time you peed your pants.
Oh yeah, well, that's good. That's good. I can make all of those. Here's a
Those
scary
all wrap
story.
up together.
All in one. All right. We got
well,
a big story time burrito here, kids.
You know, every adult has those moments where they're trying to make it to the bathroom and they can't quite get there. And the last time that this happened, Aria knows where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
The last time this happened to me was the first show, the third day of our tour in a foreign country. We had finished playing, and we had been eating a very solid diet of like bread and alcohol for several days.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I realized I have to go to the bathroom. I've got to take a shit, and I've got to go now. And I was out in the parking lot of this venue late at night, and I thought, where is the bathroom? How many steps away? And I realized
when
closest.
you're starting to count steps, you've gone
Yeah,
too far.
the
yeah.
closest I was going to make it was the RV that we had rented and that we were traveling around in.
Is there a toilet in said RV?
There is.
Thankfully, yes.
Luckily, there's
Okay.
a toilet. Although small, cassette toilet.
It's something.
Camper
It's something,
van. Yeah.
and I think I could make it there. And I got all the way through the door, and I was about 4 steps away from.
Oh, no.
And
Baby
surely enough, I
Jesus.
shit my pants.
Why?
I shit my pants, and I'm in a foreign country, and I'm
That just makes
intoxicated.
it worse.
And
What country were you in? The Netherlands?
we would have
This
been.
would have been in
We would have
Germany.
been in Germany at this point.
Oh,
have
nobody
been
wants to shit
southern
their pants in Germany.
No.
No.
And there I was, and I was like, "Oh
The
man,
Scheisty-Hosen.
what it?" It's at this point I'm like, there's a process. If you shit your pants and you're on home turf, you've got some options. You've got a house, you've got laundry, you've got
shower.
Maybe you brought an extra. Maybe you own more than one pair of pants instead of just being in the pants in a foreign country that you have for the next month and no backup.
You brought one pair of pants
Yeah.
for a month straight?
Yeah, I am such a minimalist.
This is why you don't do that.
This is why you bring the extra pants.
Mm-hmm.
In case you
Two
go-
pairs is the number.
This
Two
reason
pairs.
and this reason only.
So, if you've ever been in a micro RV, the facilities are small. The sink is small, the bathroom's small. Everything is pretty hard to use and hard to get around. So, there I am. I've just shit my pants, and I take my boots off. I take my jeans off, and luckily, like through some act of tour luck,
The tour gods shined upon me.
everything was contained within my underwear, and I just took it. I took it, and I threw it in one of the bags that we had because you're not supposed to flush toilet paper in one of these little tiny toilets.
Oh, word.
Let alone an entire pair of soiled underwear.
Which grosses me out, so I bought like a bunch of
So we
I
bought a bunch of Ziploc
ton of
bags.
plastic, really bad, but Ziploc
Yeah.
bags, garbage bags to put the Ziploc bags in.
Yeah, and then we could just ditch that every day.
That's
we
where you
were-
put the teepee?
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
well equipped to handle
Christy.
the.
Queasty.
So we were already in that wheelhouse. We were already living, in
RV life.
this disgusting way.
In a trailer full of shit bags.
Yeah. just feet from where we sleep. And
Was it just you two? Or
It's just
Yeah,
us
it
two.
was-
Okay. I was imagining for some reason like the whole Folk Hogan of you.
Yeah.
All
That would've
sharing
been-
this,
that would've been-
shit wagon.
Oh, luckily it was just the two of us on tour. And
Everybody's fucking shit bags in the.
Th-
All right,
that,
I'll stop.
That was
I'll
my
stop.
first. That was my first thought. Is if this same thing had happened on the Folk Hogan tour,
Oh,
I would have been
Christ.
so fucked.
Okay, so at least that's not the case.
So,
Yeah.
so I dispose of everything, and I'm washing up the best that I can, and finding new underwear, throwing my clothes back on, scrutinizing everything, making sure that I didn't get shit everywhere, cleaning everything, and finally get back into, the venue. And, the next day I have to tell Aria what happened.
Do you have to, though?
I did, because throughout all of this, as I'm desperately looking around and trying to clean,
She finds the bag of Queasty undie draws.
I realized the only thing besides this inadequate toilet paper is a small towel, and I'm using the small towel to clean everything up. And that's Aria's personal towel.
I brought a towel
So-
specifically
That's a hard
for my
conversation.
face.
The face towel
Oh no!
was now
There were no other towels.
it was now the defaced
I mean,
towel.
come on.
There may have been other towels, but
You could have
They're-
sacrificed your shirt.
it was kind of in
You
this
could have
moment.
used the already Queasty undie draws.
Yeah, in this moment, it's whatever I could reach within an arm span.
yeah, panic.
And that was the only
Yep.
towel available.
Whatever you got, I guess.
Yeah. So that's the most recent time that I've shit my pants.
I mean, the question was peed your pants, but that was
That
way
works. That's
better.
even better.
Yeah.
Way better. I mean, better than I was expecting, at least.
It's only
It
fun
wasn't
because
quite-
it happened in another country.
Everything wrapped up into one burrito. I mean, maybe if you would have shat out an alien or something. Like shout out the unholy priesthood, or I don't know. Then we could have had paranormal wrapped on it, but it's cool. Hey, we still got time. You got
Well-
another one?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Another story time, kids.
So Aria, what was the highlight of the tour? What was the best moment? What was the low point? What was the most physically challenging? Where was a point? Reflecting back on this European tour that we went on, we were in the Netherlands, Germany, and even up in Belgium.
Did you book your own tour, or do you
we
go
have
through
a booking
somebody?
agent out there, and
Yeah.
How do you meet these kind of people?
I don't know, but if there's somebody in the United States that could do this for us, we'd love one here. We have a
Fuck.
really good contact.
Oh,
The
man.
Netherlands, TJ Concerts out there,
Yeah.
was able to rep us. On the flip side, here we are with just as much accomplishments and credibility here in the U.S., and we're trying to book Boise, Idaho, which is 6 hours away, and I've played there 50 times, and it's like starting from scratch every time. So anyways, back to the tour. We're on this
Indeed.
tour.
The story.
So what's the best thing that happened while we were out there, or maybe the most exciting, Aria? What do you think?
Well, I mean, so the tour itself was really rad. Getting to hang out in all of these different countries and meet all of these. I think meeting all of the owners of the different venues that we played was probably my favorite part. Just because everyone there's like a completely different mentality around hiring musicians or hiring entertainment for the night, right? Like, it's a little bit more sparse. They don't have, a bunch of bands probably beating down their door every day that are like from down the street.
Yep.
It's not oversaturated.
But also the audience is so excited. Like everybody there is a music supporter. It's like everyone's a little more cultured,
at
a
an
little more
event.
into art.
Every place, whether it's a small, tiny bar or whatever, people are there specifically to watch the music and be entertained.
That's
by
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, rather than screaming and crying
Yeah.
and talking really loudly right next to the
I
stage.
mean-
And like not to down talk all
Yeah.
of I too am an American concert goer. I get it.
Yeah.
But our attitude and the way that we behave at shows, like I've changed the way that I act at shows because I was kind of humbled by the experience of playing for a room of like 40 people. It would be like a normal bar night, but instead of everyone having 16 different conversations and screaming at each other, it's like everyone, whether they're like 7 or 75, are all watching the band.
That's way cool.
And they're not like seeing how drunk they can get and how fast, there's just
So
a
this is
different
Bars,
attitude.
all ages, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Coffee shops.
Every venue.
Festivals.
Hell
It's
yeah.
just the way
Wherever.
people are. They're excited to
They're-
see
And
music.
the whole culture around musicians is totally different. I mean,
It
they're-
seems like
they're-
it.
They're paying for the musicians to be there.
Right.
They're paying enough to actually cover their gas plus their time. They're putting them up in a place to stay, which is
Yeah.
typically an apartment above the, or a hotel room above the bar. So like the whole way that the structure is built is different. And then they're
because
feeding
you're on
you.
tour, they're feeding you, and
They're
like
feeding you. and
we're vegan, and so I went along on the Folk Hogan tour and did photo as well. But on both tours, there were so many instances where like the bar we were at didn't have like a strictly vegan thing on the menu, but
Well,
like they would bring like the most beautifully cooked food from their home
yeah.
to
No
feed
shit.
us.
Yeah, a lot of these places don't.
Nice.
They may be a bar, but they don't have food there, and
Mhm.
so
Right.
in that case, they would bring.
They would like bring a whole spread of
this
like
is-
potluck,
And they're allowed to
stuff,
do
and-
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's their bar, and they're not as restricted.
it seemed like
in certain
here you
ways
might get shit
here.
for that.
here
Yeah.
the whole that was a weird thing to get used to too. Is you can't really exist anywhere in the United States without paying someone money.
Mm-hmm.
There's very
Yeah.
few. There, in a brutally capitalist society, the idea of having a free space for adults to exist in sounds like anarchy out here. It's-
Right.
that's socialism, right?
Or at least a very childish way of
And so,
thinking,
yeah, even the
like,
idea
just keep
of-
dreaming,
Even the idea of bringing food from an outside place in is would be like an assault on the business
Well,
here.
our
Yeah,
first
my immediate
instinct
question is, can you do that?
Yeah,
Can you
of
do
course,
that?
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because out here, you could definitely get in trouble for that.
You
Which
could
is very
definitely get in
strange.
trouble with that. I mean,
Yeah.
there was one day where me and my friends broke all sorts of social norms because we couldn't agree on a place. There's one person wanted to go to KFC and the other two wanted to go to Taco Bell. So we stopped at KFC, we went through the drive-thru, we got his KFC, and then we went to the Taco Bell, and we all sat down at the same table inside, and he ate his KFC and we ate the Taco Bell.
This is the spell.
And I
That was woven.
overhear like people working at the Taco Bell like, can he do that?
Right.
What?
It's very frowned upon.
Yeah.
It's cross-contamination.
And,
until they had an idea.
But so many things are so different in these different countries. I mean, because all of these rules, all of these social norms are completely made up.
Right.
It's very easy for them to pivot and be completely different or slightly different. So one of the things that happened to Folk Hogan the first time we went out there is we were playing in a bar and a fan walked in with a fifth of Jack Daniels and handed it to us as we were starting to sound check and said, "Here, I brought you guys this whiskey. I want you to drink it while you play."
Nice.
Well,
Like brought it from home, brought it?
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, you couldn't do that out
You
here.
can't do that
No way.
anywhere here.
Yeah.
You
can't just
definitely been
no
bitched
way.
at
You
more
could-
than once by more than one
You can't bring
employee at a bar.
You can't bring in a bottle of water into an American
Right.
establishment.
Which is ridiculous.
You know,
You
unless
find that
you
out the hard
unless you
way.
have like 3 or 4 guns like taped to it, you can't bring in.
So they can't see the water behind
So they can't see the
guns.
water behind the guns. Like you can't bring
Right.
a bottle of water in anywhere.
But you can bring in your guns.
Yeah, that's no problem. But
In
So
Europe, they
that's very
definitely seem
different.
to also like treat musicians, as you guys kind of said, a little bit differently. I've never even
almost
been
like
there,
they
but
treat us like human beings out
yeah,
there. Where
I
we're
feel like
playing a
it's-
show, as you're well aware, in the U.S. is like the whole process is like you're not supposed to be there. Like the staff, and even if they don't feel this way, the experience is like you're sneaking in the back. You're the lowest of the low.
Hang out
You're
in the
there,
green room.
which is like when you step back from it, sounds really, really stupid because you're there and you're working at the same job that they are.
right.
They're
You
like
know, they're
auxiliary
different
staff.
skills, but it's like, being a musician is like being the person that works at the Costco that hands out the samples.
All right.
Because you don't work for the Costco,
Right.
but you're the reason that everyone's at the Costco.
Yep.
And meanwhile, Costco's like, hey, look at this great place that we have to work.
Man,
and
that's
we're
a
paying
fantastic analogy.
we're paying these wonderful benefits, and we start everybody out at, X amount of dollars per hour. Meanwhile, to the actual customers going through the door, they don't know that the people that are handing out the samples are being paid less, and that they're not actually Costco employees, and that they're borderline being taken advantage of or abused. And that's kind of what it's like being a musician. It's like sneak in the back. You have to pay to be here. We're not going to, the best that you're going to get deal wise in an independent level is here's 2 drink tickets and we're going to sort of be nice to you. Well, you're
Right.
here making us money. You're the person that brought the customers through the door that tip me and pay the portion
Your
of my
bartenders
staff
wouldn't
that
have
I-
anything to do tonight.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like on that note, all the hundreds of people coming through there are just coming to get a free sample.
Yeah.
All your audience kind of looks at music and musicians the same way that they look at the free sample and the person giving them out.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
That's a great analogy.
It really is.
Well, I think it's important to note too that the problem here is not necessarily the individual people or the individual bar owners, the individual staff or anything like that, or even the individual
Yeah.
listeners. It's
the fucking system.
It's the culture
system.
that we've created.
It's the culture we've
It
created.
is.
And
And
we say
embraced.
we,
It's-
but there are certain people with names and addresses that have created these problems for us. And so that's an important thing to remember. I personally feel like putting the brunt of these problems onto, like, even say like a bar owner who is hiring staff or whatever, hiring musicians, they're in a situation where fixing those things, sometimes there are definitely people who, take advantage of the situation
Sure.
and make it worse, but a lot of times it's like, this is the way it has been set up for a long time. We haven't raised band rates since like the 70s.
Yeah.
Etc. And so, they're even if they're in the same boat with us and they want to fix the problems, a lot of times it doesn't look much different than what we're talking about now.
Yeah, I think it does just start with having an open dialogue,
Yeah.
and changing the culture around music. One of the places that absolutely kicks ass in Salt Lake City that has just blown all of these things out of the water and been like, hey, we're going to be open about everything. We're gonna tell the bands how they're getting paid beforehand. We're gonna be very upfront about the fact that that's the reason that people are coming through the door, etc. Is Ace's High Saloon in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah.
We got a show coming up there pretty soon, actually.
They're very, very
first time,
and so like I've worked with them a lot as a musician. I've helped them with their website. I have a bias of being sort of hearing all the inside stuff. I've sent tons of friends with touring bands there to see if they can get shows there. I have a very good, close personal connection with their sound guy that is also their talent buyer. So I hear all of the inside baseball on everything, and they're very upfront about what they're paying bands. They're taking the door money, and it's going directly to the bands. They're not trying to pay some other member of the staff with part of that money. And so they've taken the vibes, they've taken all the good things that worked at Steamers, they've taken all the good things that worked at Bert's Tiki Lounge, including Greg. And Greg, bartender, beloved among the community of Salt Lake, used to work at Bert's Tiki Lounge, works there.
Oh, yeah, he did sound, right?
Yeah, I think he did at Bert's. He did everything at Bert's.
Word.
There was one night I went there to Bert's Tiki Lounge, and I had like $30 in quarters. And that was all the money that I had to my name.
Take it to Bert's.
And I think I must have had like maybe a few dollars left or whatever that got me through the door. But I ordered the first like warm PBR that they bought across the street at the gas station.
Yeah, that's what
10
you gotta
minutes
love
before
about that.
because they owed money to every liquor company, and they had been shut off by all of their vendors.
No shit.
And they were just limping along, literally going across the street, buying stuff at the gas station, coming back, running
with
out.
a 30-pack of Pabst.
Sometimes multiple times throughout a show. And I bought a $2 PBR that they had just bought for 45 cents across the street. And I paid.
And that's your drink ticket.
I paid.
Is a beer you could have just got at the Chevron.
Yeah, and I paid.
We love that.
I was a patron this night, and I paid in the quarters, and I paid like a good tip in quarters, and the bartender flipped out. She's like, "You can't fucking pay in quarters." I'm like, "Why not? Like, they're not hard to count. This isn't pennies. I'm not doing it to be like a jerk." Like,
it seems like they would sort of look for reasons to be
currency.
pissed, though. Because you working at Bert's Tiki Lounge, you're going to be upset about things.
There's another thing that Europe has all figured out is their coin system is awesome. And their denominations of coins and they're not called dollar bills, but their bills actually are sized differently so that you can see the smaller the money is smaller and the bigger money is bigger. So if you have like €100, it's actually bigger than your little tiny €5 bill.
Wow. So you can actually say
so you actually,
your little tiny $5 bill.
Yeah, you actually,
because it is tiny.
That way when you get paid your small money as a musician, it's actually small money. But no, we got paid well over there, and we had a great time. And we're going to do it again in April of 2024 with our band, and Folk Hogan's also going to go out there around that time as well. And but
yeah,
anyways,
Wizard, we ought to take Delphicorum over there.
We should
do it
for sure. I think that Europe would probably understand us much better than Utah does.
I think
we're kind of a hard band to understand.
I think you guys would have a blast over there.
And really even if they didn't, we'd have a blast.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Oh no, they'd love it.
Probably.
If they're always looking for the entertainment value of what they're getting.
We've talked about some of the things that fans and musicians and bars are doing and can improve, and we've talked about me shitting my pants. And so now I think we take those two concepts and we end it with Working Through Some Shit, which is a song about working through some shit. A metaphor,
literally and figuratively.
But maybe in this context, figuratively.
Working through some shit.
And this is the title track off of the first album. And it's a song that I wrote because I got hired to perform at an assembly of a big marketing agency that I worked at. And I said, I don't have any appropriate songs for this crowd. They're all slow and sad, so I'm going to write a happy one. And I wrote Working Through Some Shit. And I performed it just as it's recorded.
And now it's the name of the album.
Correct.
The first album.
The first album. So we worked back to front, and here it is.
I like it. I like it. How before we get going, how do people find your guys' music? Where are some of the best places to locate not just online, but do you have any live shows coming up you want
Correct.
to plug?
Everything is on. We have 2 URLs that are pretty easy to remember, and we can maybe even throw these in the show notes or the description.
Oh, we can put it in the description for sure.
And our main music page is nickpassy.com/music, and our main link page that goes out to all of our social media. It goes out to whatever we're doing. Like right now, we're crowdfunding. If that's still going on, that will be the top, and that's nickpassy.com/links. And from there, you can go see. From either of those pages, you can go see everything that we've got online, everywhere.
Hashtag Iheart Nick Passy.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys still have that sticker on the mixer board.
Oh, fuck. I bet if you wandered around downtown Provo, you might still find
they're
ABG's
like
has a few microphones.
Or something.
Yeah.
I mean, like, talk about shameless self-promoters. Remember when you guys just went around, like, all downtown Provo just gluing your flyers to gluing it?
I remember the second half where the graffiti team called us and said that they were opening a case.
Oh,
and they
no
were gonna
shit.
be paying people $17.50 an hour to clean them up, and we'd be charged for that amount.
I think I remember you telling me about
all
that.
of us dispersed around Provo with scrapers and cleaning supplies and cleaned up every flyer that we could find.
Oh, jeez.
And then called them back and said,
I don't think I remember you telling me about that.
hey, we cleaned it all up. And they're like, well, you can't do that. You can't destroy the evidence. And we're like, well, it's not evidence. We haven't been charged with anything. What are you talking about? You just said it was a problem and we fixed it.
Well,
we
it's
won't
not
do
a
it
problem
again.
now. I acted like it
Case
never happened.
closed.
Been like, what flyers are you talking about?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, folks, we are going to have a word from our sponsor, and then we're going to work through some shit. And then we're going to leave you guys with a special goodbye from the wizard. Hey, kid. Ever dream of having supernatural powers beyond your deepest fathoms?
Well, I have dabbled a little bit in the occult in attempts to raise my deceased math teacher I had a crush on back from the dead.
Really?
And I tried selling my soul once in exchange for the ability to fly backwards.
Oh, wow.
And there was that one time
Jesus, kid, stop. You're kind of freaking me out.
Oh!
No, but really, it would seem to me that what you need is a mystical magic talisman.
Oh, I've tried plenty of talismans, sir. They pretty much seem to do...
Nothing like this one. Why, you can't even see it through this burlap sack.
Whoa! What is it?
Just reach into the sack, boy. Reach in the sack and rummage. Feel the power.
Ooh, it sounds enchanting.
You'll fly backwards, bring your teacher you whacked off to back from the dead, and reverse zombification faster than ever before.
What the hell, Derpinschlee guy? This is just a half-eaten hostess cupcake.
Ha! Derpinschlee. And remember, if it doesn't say Derpin, it's not Derpinschlee.
It's cheaper than therapy to keep writing 4-chord songs. I always seem to find the friends that don't mind singing along.
But lately you've been worrying us with all your sad, sad songs.
Everything's just fine, I'm just working through some shit. And the sunny side doesn't last for quite that long. 'Cause every time you think you're spare, life comes along and takes a rip of your asshole like a bong. Like a dirty hippie bong. I'm not doing bad, I'm just not doing fine. I'm always belligerent and angry at all the wrong times, in all the wrong places, with all the wrong kind of people. But I'm just working through some shit. Well, my sense of reality is flawed from writing too many songs. I forget where the troubles are and the chords belong. At least my therapist is probably doing just fine. Well, I'm out here working through some shit. It's a pattern, a pattern, a pattern of my life, 'cause I'm working through some shit. It's a pattern, a pattern, a pattern of my life, 'cause I'm working through some shit. 'Cause I'm working on it, and I'm working on all of it. Because I'm working on it, and I'm working on all of it. It's just a pattern of my life, and I'm working on doing just fine. It's a pattern of my life, and I'm working on doing just fine. Working on doing just fine.
I'd like to thank you all for joining us on yet another exciting episode of KWJUDAS, brought to you by Gumption Radio. We now turn you back to your regular Gumption City radio programming.
This has been a special goodbye from the Wizard.